This is LegendaS, and welcome to MK Mobile. Today, we'll talk about the changes that happened in the game and also cover some hot topics that concern the community. After the update, many bugs appeared in the game. Some caused minor inconveniences, while others brought serious problems. Before we start discussing these bugs, I want to share something important. If you face any issues in the game or don't know how to deal with them, you can reach out to the community ambassadors, ManWithNoGame45 and LegendaS, on Twitter or X, and for Russian-speaking players on vContact. All the necessary links are in the video description. The first bug we'll talk about is related to Cameo. The problem causes the game to crash when using Cameo as a support fighter. The fix is simple. Remove Cameo from support, play one match in any mode, then select Cameo again. The game won't crash anymore. Important, if you have a save preset with Cameo, you'll need to repeat this for every such team. If you don't, loading a team with Cameo will cause the game to crash. It's best to save your teams again without Cameo so you don't have to swap him every time. A similar problem exists with equipped gear in the Kingdom Battle mode. The cause is saved teams with gear. Right now, you need to save your teams without gear again, then add gear separately to avoid related glitches. Also, currently, creating a new account in the game is unavailable. Developers know about this, but there's no clear timeline on when it will be fixed. This may be related to the game being moved to a new platform to support new features in future MK Mobile updates. In the Crypt mode, there is a problem with rewards. Chests and tombstones don't match the chaotic difficulty level. Only rare and epic chests and tombstones should appear, but that's not happening right now. Developers are aware and will fix it as soon as possible. Now, let's talk about the most serious and dramatic topic in MK Mobile: changes in game mechanics. To better understand my thoughts, let's take a step back and review the journey from the start. A few years ago, there were no Realm Warriors in the MK Mobile community. For some, this might seem unimportant, but it's actually a big deal. You know my friend and content creator, Mand. He tried for many years to reach out to the developers to have at least one conversation to represent the community's interests and share ideas that could improve MK Mobile. Believe it or not, Mand waited over 3 years until it finally happened. At that point, he had lost hope and faith that it would ever be possible. I know another guy, an old school player, who impressed me with his dedication and unique video style. I think you're curious who it is. The only guy who made it happen. I don't know how he did it, but it's truly legendary. He's the first and only in MK Mobile community to interview the developers, specifically Mick, someone who greatly influenced MK Mobile's development. So who is it? That's Realm Warriors, gametimegaming, or GTG. I'll leave a link to the podcast with Mick and GTG in the description. After that interview, a glimmer of hope appeared for cooperation with developers, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. At the same time, many changes and bugs hit the game, which deeply disappointed the MK Mobile community. The disappointment was so strong that one old school player who was loyal to the game, buying gear and characters, was driven to despair and sent a request to delete his account. Of course, I'm talking about ManWithNoGame45. He put all his cards on the table, and like his favorite character Aaron Black, it was like a gamble. Thanks to his sacrifice, the developers took notice and realized how serious the problem was. This wasn't a bluff, it was a desperate move. I know ManWithNoGame45 well, and we often support each other, especially in tough times. Many players share similar feelings: disappointment, feeling betrayed, unheard, and abandoned. Not everyone is willing to accept such treatment, and for some, the limit is reached. One example is the content creator, ShaolinMonk. Many have asked where he disappeared. In this video, I can finally share the reason. ShaolinMonk left MK Mobile, the community, and stopped making videos on his YouTube channel. The reason was changes to the Shirai Ryu Tower gear. The changes were significant, and in some cases, it was completely different gear, not what players originally received. Many invested a lot of money to get gear with specific stats and effects. This reminded me of the Cinderella story, when the carriage turned into a pumpkin at midnight. Now that you know the background, let's talk about Realm Warriors. Who are Realm Warriors? They are community ambassadors chosen by developers to be the bridge between players and developers. They represent the community's interests, communicate player priorities, and take part in game development. Realm Warriors receive no privileges or payments. They do this voluntarily because they love the game. There are false rumors that Realm Warriors get free currency, gear, or characters. This is not true. Realm Warriors and other players are on equal footing. Currently, the community faces a repeated drama regarding gear changes. Realm Warriors have been actively asking developers to list changes in detail, especially important stat changes. And to be fair, since working with Realm Warriors, developers have made the changelogs more detailed. Update 6.3 is a good example, though not perfect. There was a lot of hate towards Realm Warriors in the community. I understand why, and I'm sympathetic, but I want to clarify this moment. Many changes after 6.3 were unknown even to Realm Warriors. They asked the developers for official explanations, whether the changes were planned or a mistake. This raised trust issues and questions about future collaboration. I always speak my mind and never defended developers blindly. I organized a protest, and special thanks to StarInSky, who supported me and made a video. This shows how strong a community can be when united. I'm not calling for protests. Thanks to Realm Warriors, the community has a voice, and players can be heard and understood. The game needs changes and balance, but these shouldn't wipe out players' investments and trust. I ask you, don't rush to conclusions. Let's wait for the official response from developers and together find a fair solution. If you feel alone, know this: you have support, you have Realm Warriors. So fighters, what did you think of the video? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, tell me which teams and characters you play, and feel free to share your strategies and tactics. Maybe your advice will be the key to victory for someone who's looking for a solution in a tough battle. Huge thanks to everyone who supports me. The names of these amazing people are now on the screen. Don't forget to check out the description below the video. There you'll find links to my social media, as well as to the channels of my friends and other MK Mobile content creators who, just like me, pour their heart into every video. And remember, challenges are not our enemy, they are our teacher. The impossible is just something no one has done yet. And every defeat brings us one step closer to victory. In MK Mobile, there are no useless cards, only players who haven't yet learned how to use them.
Get over here!